Alright, good afternoon, folks. Mr. Bones is joining us because he has just been the little snuggle bug today. That's right. I had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do today. Just because I'm like, I've already done some stretching this morning, some mobility work, just some stuff that was more like play. As you can see by the stacked sandbags, it felt good. It was interesting. Um, And I've also been watching some like Indian club videos where there's this emphasis on this ability to go more forward backwards than side to side. So I played around with that. I got my heavy deadlift session tomorrow, and the weight's gonna be going up on that by 5 whole pounds. Um, I am down to about 187 now. So at my heaviest, I was basically like at 200. So I have lost about 13 pounds. So part of me's thinking I should just maybe stick to some more fundamental kettlebell movements today. Deadlift, squat, swing, some windmills maybe, because I know my mobility was a little restricted on those a couple of weeks ago. Not too worried about the press because I think I'll be pressing tomorrow. But again, just stuff that kind of maybe work on some fundamentals, air quote, they're correctives because we're emphasizing technique over reps. So, and that's where I think, again, like, because of the progress I've been making at the gym, where, like, my bench, my 15 rep max on the bench is 140, and I was hitting like 12, 10, and 6, or like 12, 8, and 6 when I first started. Was it 2 days ago that I hit 12, 12, and 12? So I'm like, cool, like I'll try and build up to 12, 12, 14, and then we had 5 pounds, so on and so forth. And again, it's been good. The fact that I've been able to like continue gaining some strength while losing weight, I'm happy about. But I think today it might just be more of a fundamentals thing. How long we spend on it, I don't know. For myself, recently I found out that I've been kind of too tight on my squat, and that might have been where I've been having some issues with my low back, my groin area, because I wasn't hitting depth. Like I was more or less disrespecting the weight. So we don't want stair climber. We don't want spinning. Oh, tartar sauce. Did we lose? Oh, dang it. We lost the interval training, so I gotta pull it back up. Let's see here. Set interval 45 seconds, rest 30 seconds. All right, I'm good for it. So what we'll probably actually start with, because it's the easiest one to feel out. Oh, this is actually something else where once we get into the workout, I'll probably start talking a little bit about the deadlift here. So what I have found out for myself is, right, if I'm here, I tend to like lose power. So what I found out is I need to feel like I am not just pushing the ground down, but down and forward to feel like I can stay connected with the deadlift. And the biggest thing that I could think of is like as if you're here, right? And you are trying to pull something, right? That I am pushing my legs this way to help with that pulling action. So to me, it makes me feel like my knees are actually very behind, but the really the how the lift feels, like my grips, like I've been working on my strapless deadlift, and when I don't kind of do that cue of pushing the world forward and not just down, my my technique suffers essentially. So it does feel better to kind of have a slight forward push when I'm deadlifting. All right. So ended up finding the same thing out for squats, where I was just getting too tight in. I wasn't hitting depth. So here's what it is. This is where again, right? Like, of course, the issue with sumo squatting with a kettlebell is, right, you want to be able to keep your trunk relatively tall, but I don't have the ankle mobility for that. And so I end up going into kind of a weird thing there. All right, the main thing that I wanted to do here, aside from the windmills, is some more kind of hip dominant lunge and then a knee dominant lunge. All right, so here's our hip dominant one. I lied. That ended up turning a little more into the knee dominant one. But yeah, very glute based. So again, that felt like good. Again, good on the joints. So we're going to set up for the same thing here. Since I've been doing a little more stretching and mobility work, this feels better too. But what feels worse right now is my left quad. This is burning. Boy. Alrighty. I need a lightweight. Here's a lightweight. Nice 10-pound dumbbell. work on these windmills. Ooh. All right. If I was going. All righty. Definitely some nice like ribcage opening on both sides. All right. All right, so now we're going to take a look at that more knee dominant split squat. We're going to emphasize a little more knee flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, and a straighter back leg. The partial limitation with this one is more so, not so much the tension in my left ankle, but the limited extension of my right hip. So this is kind of what I mean about going back to some foundational stuff. Call these correctives, you know, technique, base work. All right, as we learned our lesson, we're going to take about 75. We're going to take this work break, the rest break, the work break. We're not going to work during the work interval. We're going to rest. We're going to rest again, and then go with the right foot forward, left foot back. And what I might do to finish out is just some good old partial Turkish get-ups, emphasizing rotation. All right, just kind of that bottom part of the movement where I go from there to there, trying to get all that to cooperate with me. But yeah, definitely not trying to expend as much energy here and save my energy for the gym. I've been steadily losing about a pound a week. So I know the weekends, maybe I'm a little less disciplined and overeat and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, I end up losing about a pound a week, around 2,200 calories. So yeah, it's slow, but it's working. Alrighty. Alright, same thing. Right. So as I lean in, alright. It's more the issue of the left hip extension limiting my movement than the ankle dorsiflexion. Alrighty. So again, for this partial Turkish get up, all I want to work on is that ability to rotate through, control the descent. Rotate through, control the descent, but with a kettlebell. Right, so we gotta be able to rotate through, control the descent. All right. All right. And after we do the partial on the left, we'll probably call it a day. Alrighty. That's a wrap for me. Yeah, if you did what I did, great. You did your own thing, great. You're just starting, looking for ideas, motivation, discipline, or community to support you is what we're here to do. Help each other be a little better every day. So, good job today. Keep working hard, and we'll see you next time.